Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM22 Dragons, episode 53. We're nearing the end. In fact, PCM23 has already come out, so I've already started that series. Be sure to check that out because it is based on this Dragon series. It's called Lions, so look for that PCM23 Lions series if you have not seen it yet. But as we go to wrap up this one, it's only the 22nd of June. We still have a lot of season to get through, and I'm trying to squeeze it to within a couple of episodes here. I do want to make sure we do get to the end of that season, but I'm on a limited time frame here. In fact, I've got an insane number of hours of things to do over the next week or two. So let's get right to the action. The action right now being, are we going to get that sponsor confidence where we need it and want it to be? That's really my main objective now for this Quick Sim season. Right now, we are right in the middle of success, but we've got a long ways to go to get that 100% evaluation. What is this, like 77% or something like that? We had 4 key objectives remaining on the year. We've been through 3 of those, failed miserably all 3, but we won a couple stages at the Giro, and that offset those 3 losses. And actually, we came out a little bit better. I think we were at about 75. Now we're at 77. We have one objective left. That's the Tour de France. They want us to finish in the top 3. And we are aiming for GC. And we are not taking your let's go win a stage guys to that one. So we'll see how that one all plays out. But in the meantime, we have one big opportunity remaining here to earn some bonus sponsor confidence, and that's the national championships. I'm going to start going through those real quickly. I'm not going to show them all one by one, but if we get any wins, maybe some podiums, I'll show those, and we'll keep an eye on the growth of the sponsor confidence as we go through here. In lower divisions, it's an easy way to get to that 100% evaluation. At World Tour, in my experience, I'm not usually at this position where we're not yet at 100% already by this point, but when I have been in that situation, the positive from the sponsor is definitely not the same. It's very minor in comparison to the lower divisions. They don't care about it as much. Let's see if that is the case. Second championship, and we've got a victory. Terraskin was actually the favorite, but because he is scheduled to go to the Tour, he was going to sit this one out, so we let him sit it out. The next favorite was Musabekov, and he has won the individual time trial for Kazakhstan. On the surface, that's a bonus, but we haven't proceeded a day. It always recalculates the next day. I'm used to that by now. Okay, we have transferred to a new day. I definitely want to check this out and see if that boost was as significant as pronounced as it suggests, and it is. So we got a good amount. That puts us to what, 87? That was about a 10% increase, but only for a win. And so that is the thing. It is a major drop off from what we got in the lower divisions, but 10% for a win, that's still pretty healthy, especially when we're sitting at 87 right now. 2 more wins and you're up over 100. 3 more wins, and I think we can offset anything that happens at the Tour. Wins only is what we're looking for right now. By just 2 seconds, Lieberman has won the Israeli individual time trial, and so he will wear that national championship jersey, and that should be another 10% for us. And we're still pretty early in the grand scheme of things. It's looking good at this point. And we've picked up another win. It took a while to get the next one. I've had about 6 podiums, 2nd or 3rd place podiums, that saw no gain at all. So wins only at World Tour level, 10% bonus for each. But we have the best riders in their nations for the most part, but they're not all the best time trialists, or they're not all the best sprinters, or they're not all the best climbers. So depending on the profile, it can make a big difference. But we're still grabbing some wins here and there, and now have in excess of 100%. let's go straight to the tour. I'll let you know how many more wins we're able to grab along the way, but we're looking pretty good on that sponsor confidence now. Not as easy at this level for sure, but certainly still possible, especially with the makeup of our team, what they represent from their nations, and they're doing just about enough. We're on to the Tour de France. I'm going to break down the team in a moment, but stage 1 was a 14K individual time trial. Lieberman does very well with a 5th place, but Lucas Plapp on top is going to be dangerous because he's an 80 mountain, 78 time trial, 78. He's good. He's very solid and very well could be the leader for Ineos. The guy we are probably most interested in, besides Lieberman, is going to be Kasim Reddy. Kasim Reddy, 28 seconds down in 42nd in that time trial. It's not a bad place to be, but it could be better. Day 1 of this tour, everyone was healthy. Now, not everyone is. Locke is not feeling well today. We'll probably get more of a diagnosis on that, but let's hope it's not severe to the point that it drops him out of the race, because he got sick after one day of the tour. Not a good place to be. But also, race day condition wise, everybody is between 93 and 99% fitness, so they are in good shape there. Morale is good for everyone. Motivation for Aiden King is even high. Everybody has the objective, and looking at our fitness peak, 3 of them are on it. All 3 of them were not on it yesterday, so all 3 of them are starting it today, which means it's going to hold through most of the tour before that goes away. And then you can see the entire rest of the team is building and getting close. Now, our 2 main leaders are Lieberman. He's got a handful of days before it's going to start. And then Reddy, he's at 72.3. You gain, I think, 3 points a day in races. So he's looking at like 9 more days to get there, which hits it for the second half. He'll have it for the entire second half. We're in good shape. We're in good shape to start this one out. But the quick sim, what that does to you, what that does to the riders, there's give and take. There's good and bad. We have a team of all climbers. All. The worst rating out of the entire bunch is a 75. We have 181 mountain. We have an 80 mountain. But we have a good group of support climbers. Now, it's not the best group of support climbers that I've had when you compare other series. I mean, this is not that strong. For what our team is capable of, this is the strongest we've been. If I were controlling the team through those mountain stages and you utilize the entirety of the team to support your leader, you're giving that leader, you're protecting that leader, you're giving them every extra ounce of energy you can. Yeah, we could do pretty well. But we're going to be quick simming, and that's going to change things. That is going to alter things. That is not going to make life easy. I'll pick one stage, one kind of mountaintop finish, last climb, so we can quickly manage at least to get one stage in 3D race. But otherwise, I think that stage could go relatively well for us depending on race day condition. We'll definitely want to save that for second half, knowing that that's when both Lieberman and Reddy are going to be +5s and increase our chances, increase our odds. But the quick sim, the good thing about the quick sim, because there's give and take, the good thing is the extreme difficulty does not come into account on quick sim. So that +4 bonus to everybody else's mountain rating, they don't get that when we just quick sim. Your 81 versus their 81 is just an 81 versus an 81. And that can help keep us in it. But it just really doesn't effectively take into account the impact of your teammates being around. We're only 4 stages in, and so far things aren't going horribly wrong. We had one barely punchy stage with big old time gaps and our leaders well behind. And now stage 4 is a moderate cobbled stage. We're not near the top of the standings. Terraskin does decently well. Locke does decently well. Sedinkaya is on that same time, but now we're looking at 52 seconds down. Now we're looking at 1:13 before we finally get to Reddy, and then Lieberman is 1:41. So big time losses for us. Terraskin is 10th overall, but Terraskin's only a 78, not a very good time trialist. This is a problem. Locke is the next best one. He's also just a 78. You get to the major mountains and those guys are going to lose a lot of time. Set and Kaya. Reddy is a minute 45 down and Lieberman is a minute 56 down very early in this race. Now this will change once we hit the big mountains, but we're starting with a near 2-minute gap already. Pogacar's only 5 seconds down on Van der Poel. So that's your standard, that's your mark. We're almost 2 minutes down. We're well over a minute and a half down with both of our leaders on the race favorite, and we haven't even hit a mountain yet. Setting off on a 27K team time trial, this is the best way for us to impact the overall race and what's going on. We have two guys that are well placed in Tereskin and Locke, but they're not the leaders for the mountains. We have two guys that are the leaders for the mountains who are horribly placed right now, still just a couple minutes behind, but we're 9 stages in. This is stage 9 of 21 already. The entire team has started their fitness peak, minus Kasim Reddy, who's a couple days away from it himself. Right now, we're pushing for an 88 or 89, depending on the rider, about a 90. And that does seem to be setting a good tempo for us. We're quick, but we're definitely saving something for the end. And outside of Luk Tung, everybody else is keeping up on the yellow bar versus the distance left to cover, and that red bar is going deep, but it's not super deep. Now, we're only 7th at the first time check, 17 seconds down, but it was flat through there. Now the race is going to start to get interesting. I don't know how many teams there are left behind us. Let's see, team classification, ranking. 2 teams behind us, so KBC and then Ineos, which of course Ineos is one of those favorites. So we'll stick with this a little bit longer to see where those 2 teams come in at. But I can tell we can afford to push, but the uphill is going to make you go deeper faster. Let's give this first hill a chance and see what happens in terms of how deep are we going with these guys. Let's see, Locke, it pulls him down, but it's really not bad. The 88s that I'm running, I think I can push those back up to an 89. These are guys that I was worried were going to be too fast. So we'll put them to an 89. And then I have Kang at a 90 because he's weak. And he's not going to pull enough pace when he's not there. So I'm going to have those guys pull a little bit harder. Tung is another one. So when they go, we'll have them pull hard. But this thing finishes with a climb. This is a unique team time trial compared to what you normally see. They are generally flat. You don't see a lot of undulation on team time trials, and it is going to affect things. KBC goes second quickest, 2 seconds off the pace, and I have not seen Ineos come through yet. And they go second quickest, 1 second off the pace. We are already passing another rider out here, Bosma. It's going to be dangerous for them. But overall, we are 9th at 17 seconds down. You can now see just how much harder it is for these guys to keep up. That hill took its toll. And you see that tempo that we set outside of Lieberman, the entire team is feeling it. Tereskin peeling off the front. This little downhill should give us a little recovery. Did we lose Tung? Not quite, but just about. Probably give him one more turn, and then that's going to be it. He'll be out of there. Now we're through the second time check. Into the race lead. I told you. While we went a little soft through that first check, we pushed a little harder through the second check, but it was taking its toll. And we're also at a point where, like, Lieberman at an 89 is going to destroy his teammates. We're dropping Kang. And we're dropping Tung. We've got 6 left. 6 left and 1 climb to get through. KBC comes through 9 seconds down. Bahrain Victorious is 11 seconds down. We're in such great shape. But Ineos goes top 6 seconds down. But remember, we were 17 and they were 1. So we were 16 seconds behind Ineos. We gained 10 seconds on them there. Now, Locke, barely hanging on. We're going to put him at the back end now, as he is placed 11th overall. That's going to change, but we don't want him to get dropped here. Oh, Tung coming back. Kang coming back. Wow. Good on them. Okay, on the climb. Ready at the front. And Ready. Can I just get you to lead through this thing? Hamad, Lieberman. Sedinkaya hangs on. So we get in there, and that's into the lead at the finish line. 16 seconds ahead of Bahrain Victorious. What were we before? We were 11. So we gained 5 more seconds on the way to the finish line comparatively. And then we're just waiting on 2 more teams to come in. No matter how you shake this up, even if we're second, it's going to be a really good team time trial. We were definitely not the favorite, but that was a good result. KBC should be coming in a moment. And they are way behind. They are 20 seconds down. Ineos! Ineos gets it by 1 second. So we don't win the stage, which is a shame. 1 second down is, that's ideal. We gain a lot of time on a lot of teams. So after finishing just a second behind, here is the new standings. Ethan Hayter of Ineos is only second. Arnsman actually still leads. KBC have a couple riders up there. And then, of course, our actually 3 key guys that were all on good time. Tereskin, Sedinkaya, and Locke are all still up there. There's Gloag, who's an obvious threat with his 82 mountain. But Lieberman and Reddy both move up a lot. But they're still that couple minutes behind. So they still have that comparison. But look, no Pogacar. Pogacar lost a ton of time. Just for some reference, Vingegaard and Lotto Soudal lose 44 seconds. Miguel Angel Lopez and Nielsen Paulus, they both lose 1:23. Robert Stannard loses 1:30. Ayuso of AG2R loses 1:30. Bike Exchange and Bailey Little lose 5 minutes and 42 seconds. And UAE with Fisher Black, McNulty, Pogacar lose 6.5 minutes. 6.5 minutes. That is incredible. I'm really glad that's the stage we decided to play. That 1 more second or 2 more seconds to claim the stage would have been a nice bonus. However, that couldn't have gone much better. We lose no time, bar 1 second to one team. We gain some time over many teams, and we gain massive time over a few key riders. First mountaintop finish, Tereskin for some reason is the one who seems to continually do the best, and our leaders are just not showing up in that. Lieberman, 1:20 down, and Reddy also, even further, 1:40 behind. Tereskin and Locke are now both in the top 3. Can't understand why this is happening, why we are struggling, but that's the case. We might have to switch to those guys at some point. The major mountains, that was the first big climb we had, and it definitely didn't go how you would expect. Stage 11, Reddy now has his fitness peak. The entire team does. What's this going to do for them? Reddy gets 3rd on the stage behind Evenepoel. Tereskin also up there. He continues to be in a very strong position. Lieberman also just 17 seconds down. We finally have the mountains do us a little bit of a favor. Tereskin still very well placed in 2nd. Locke drops off a little bit, but he's in 6th. Arnsman still the leader of this race, which is a good thing. We don't want Tereskin being the leader of this race when he's not supposed to be the leader of the team. But Lieberman and Reddy finally are climbing. They are roughly 3.5 minutes down, just inside the top 20. This could get ugly for us, or somehow Tereskin is going to hang on and be the guy for this race. He does have 78s, but his recovery is only a 73. Locke only has recovery 74, and he is similar. Stage 12, another mountaintop finish, and us not finishing terribly high up here. But Lieberman and Reddy are both 47 seconds down. Tereskin loses a lot of time. He's down to 10th, and Lieberman and Reddy are now on the edge of the top 10, but at 3 minutes behind. Jakob Miller is the currently 82 in mountain for this 24-year-old, who's got some decent attributes otherwise. Clearly also has some really weak young rider attributes, but man, oh man, where did this guy come from? Axo Noble, Bernal, Glogue are both on the podium. That's dangerous. Ineos there. Stage 14, not even much of a punchy stage, but we see big gaps. Reddy loses a couple of minutes. Lieberman and Tereskin also losing time, and we're close to 4 minutes down now. Jakob Miller still leading. Bernal is still on the podium, but Glogue has fallen off to 6th place. And yeah, things are not going well for our chances of doing really much of anything in this race. Reddy might have to become a breakaway type rider at this stage to get back in this. Stage 17, those first few fitness peaks have fallen away. They still have positive race day conditions. Fitness levels are also starting to fall away as you go deeper and deeper. Of course, that recovery matters so much more in PCM22 than it did in previous editions. I'm curious to see what PCM23 will be like. It's release day, by the way, at the time of recording this. However, I'm still waiting on the world database to show up on the workshop. I want to use that before I start recording. I have released my first Tour de France video, but I'm waiting on that. As soon as that comes out, I'll be recording and posting, so I still expect my first episode to be out, well, yesterday. I'll get it recorded, edited, and posted right away, but for now, that's where things are. But I'm curious. I'm waiting to see how it goes regarding if recovery becomes even more of a factor. I like that it's become more of a factor. I like that riders are falling off. That's more realistic to the real world. There's a lot of guys that struggle at the end of the race, and that just was not a common thing in the game before. Some guys, really bad recovery ones, but now even good recovery guys are still going to fade in the last few stages. Only the amazing recovery guys are going to really hang in there for all of a race. So I've switched up what the strategy is from where we were before, and I have turned the team into, suppose we want to do that, right? There we go. Have them ride, but not him, and actually maybe not Locke. Save Locke. So Lieberman, now the leader. He's the highest placed. Reddy, trying to send him as a free element, have him be aggressive and take off, and no, we want him to attack. And then Tereskin. So maybe Tereskin will switch to follow attacks. Those two trying to get into breaks, hoping in these last few stages that you end up with one of those breakaway victories where they're 3 minutes ahead of the pack and gain time, bump up into the top 10 or top 5, and then Lieberman, who's just on the edge of the top 10, just trying to hang on. Oh, and it has worked out for us, not by sizable gaps, but Reddy does finish in the winning group. No time bonus for him individually, but Bailey Little, who we saw lose a bunch of time, is the one who wins the stage. Marco Brenner would have been competitive. I think he was in the top 10, but Lieberman just 13 seconds down, and Locke as well. Tereskin, though, as I suspected, picks this stage to fall off. He loses 5 minutes, almost 6. So Jakob Miller still leading. Marco Brenner is second, just 14 seconds off the lead. Evenepoel still hanging in there in third. Oliveras, Bernal. You know, if we raced every single stage, I would think we would be up there. I think we would be up there fighting for that podium. But here we are in 10th, and Reddy regains enough time to move back up. He's still only 11th, and Tereskin has fallen off. So we're right where I thought we would be. We've hit the major mountains, and it's Lieberman and Reddy. They're not where I thought they would be because they gave up all that time, those first couple of stages, 3 minutes, remember? And here they are at 2:44 and 3:39. So they gave away 3 minutes, and yet if you subtract those 3 minutes out, Lieberman might be leading this race by 15 seconds. Of course, that what if totally changes things if we're leading the race, right? But Reddy, 39 seconds down. both of them would be in the top 5 with that. That 3 minutes that we gave away has absolutely ruined our race. It's still close. We got a 3-minute gap to just a few spots behind us to Arrieta. Let's see. There's still time. They could still move up. They're in great race day condition. They both should see their fitness peaks last through the end of this race. But there's only a few more stages to come outside of the Champs-Élysées. And I don't know what's in store for those stages. Is there another individual time trial? Is there more mountain stages? Is there another sprint stage or some hill stages? I don't know the profile. I haven't looked at it. But we're running out of time for them to move up much. And other than a couple non-climbers, our 2 main guys haven't been higher than 10th at any point during this race. Same strategy for 18 this time. Not going as well. Ethan Vernon has won the stage. We are not in the top positions. Lieberman is 51 seconds down. Are you kidding me? Ready, 4:08. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, that is a huge loss. And Reddy drops to 14th. Lieberman up to 9th. We finally got up to 9th, but, it's a minute to the next position, and then, it gets tight after that. Boy, this race, we controlled one stage amazingly well, but the on paper, and this was what I was talking about, the depth of having support climbers and using every last ounce of what they offer makes a huge difference. The on paper, our best guys are good, but they're not as good as the others around us. And so on paper themselves, quick sim, you lose big chunks of time here and there. They have bad stages that the AI is just like, oh, see you later. And they're way towards the back. And yeah, we've seen that happen too many times in this race. And that's okay. That's okay. Final season. I'm already thinking about the next series. I've got a foot out the door now. Stage 19. Stage 19, we've got to go for it at this point. So we're going to try to ride for the stage. Everyone but Reddy, who's still on that. Let's get you in the breakaway and try to do something. Everything going for Lieberman. See if we can move up from that 9th position. This is one that usually does not work out because we don't have a proper leader. We have good riders, but not good enough. He's not a Pogacar. He's not a Bailey Little. He's not a Jakob Miller. He loses a minute 21. But it does move him up to 6th place. So the strategy, putting the best riders further away from us, put the other guys that were in our neighborhood under duress, or, you could assume that that's how that went, and it put some guys in some hurting, and Lieberman does move up a few spots, even though he actually lost time. But a lot of those guys that were on the back end of the top 10 couldn't handle the pressure. We put them under there, but neither could Reddy. Reddy now 10 minutes behind 16th. Stage 20, we're not going to go for the stage this time, back to protecting Lieberman, but if we are in a breakaway, the teammates, I'll set them up to be able to ride and support. Tung is down to 79% fitness here. Lieberman's down to 88. Reddy's down to 83. Only Hamad is looking good at this point, which is weird. He was one of the first ones on that fitness peak. And speaking of, Tung -1, Terraskin down to a 0. No wonder he's been struggling of late. Senkai at a +2. Reddy, the last one on the fitness peak here, stage 20. He's still got the +3, but Lieberman also carrying a +3. You got some motivation offset. Reddy, by the way, in the middle of this race, complained about not enough races and saw his motivation, his morale drop. Could be part of the reason why he's struggling. He's lower fitness, lower motivation. He's not actually getting the race day condition bonuses you would expect. Lieberman, this is looking like your last day fitness peak, which is perfectly timed. I mean, would have been nice, tomorrow be that last day, but almost perfectly timed, I suppose. 99%. And Lieberman has grabbed 2nd on the stage. Got some bonuses for that. Time looks really close to a lot of riders, though. There's no big time gaps. I mean, minute 40, there's where it explodes. 45 riders later, and Reddy is way down here. Lieberman into the top 5. He gets 4th place. I'll take that. After what started really poorly, right? 4 stages in, we were already 3 minutes behind with both of these guys. And then stage by stage, even with the fitness peaks not getting results, we've had no stage wins. We took second as a team, 1 second down, and we saw some fourth places. This second place on this stage was the highest we got, so we don't win any stages. This is what I was aiming for. This was the target in the first place when the sponsor still mattered, which was at the beginning of this episode when we entered those national championships. The Tour de France objective was top 3. To get a partial failure, you need a top 5. My goal was to get that top 5. That was why I brought the team here, because I don't feel like we've got the team that can win this. It's clear that we don't. 4 minutes down. It's just there happen to only be 3 riders that are up there. And 3 total unknowns, like regen type guys. Jakob Miller is going to take the overall race win. 8 seconds ahead of 23-year-old Fruverth. And then Chauvet, a 25-year-old with 80 Mountain. Those are all regen guys. Israel Premier Tech. Good on them for that. But French rider. But Lieberman getting up to 4th, I think, is good. Bailey Little lost 6 minutes. He finishes 7:35 down. He was good enough to be up there. But that team time trial absolutely destroyed his race. Reddy is going to finish 18th. Of course, the Champs-Élysées is all that is left. Let's see what happens with the Champs-Élysées, as Germain and Delay have not sorted out the green jersey at this point. But Germain is going to win the KOM, the Mountain Polka Dots jersey. Wow. Lieberman 4th overall, but 4th in the under 25s because he, at 24, all of those guys. And that's the thing about the database, just getting deeper and deeper and deeper. There's the strength of our team. We don't have the individual who's capable of winning, but we do have a team capable of having 3 guys finish well stage by stage by stage. And we are going to win the team classification. That's good. I was disappointed all the way up till the end. All the way up till the end, but you know, I think that's actually a decent result. Delay has won on the Champs-Élysées. Pretty sure that's going to be enough to claim that green jersey, and it is. So Arnaud Delay has won the green jersey, and that wraps up this tour and this episode. That's going to do it for this one on Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.